What am I going to say?
Welcome to the Marriage Boss Podcast. This is a special edition because I've got a good friend, client, and just somebody who I adore. Jamie Lee Carmichael is a brand new author of a book and really the creator of a brand called Go Happy Yourself. And she's going to tell us a little bit about that brand and how it happened and the book and where you can connect with her, because you have got to get your hands on this book if you want to be happy. If you want to stay miserable, then don't even just ignore this. So, Jamie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rick.
So tell us a little bit about how this whole thing happened. What were you doing, like messing around with happiness, and why did you decide to become a joyologist?
So I finally became a life coach in January of last year.
Okay.
After I think I was doing it my entire life. I was the person everybody came to for advice and whatever. And what I noticed in conversations with my friends, my family, now my clients, it was like a common theme. Everybody just wanted. And they were looking for it in external factors. It just seemed like, it was a common theme, and it was usually centered around three things. It was their weight. If I could lose 20, 50 pounds, if I could just be skinny, then I'll be happy. I'll be so happy. If I could get that promotion, get that raise, get that job, win the lottery. If I was a millionaire, oh my gosh, I would be the happy then. And then it was love. If I could find that soulmate, that would make me happy. Then I'd be complete. And, oftentimes when they achieved those things, they still weren't happy, because you can't, the whole thing is you can't find happiness externally. It's all within you.
Wow.
And everything that you need to be happy is already in there.
This is like a bombshell.
Really. It's not rocket science.
As I hear you explain it like that, it's just so clear. But yet, as we know, everyone is looking outside themselves.
Well, the other thing is that we're human. So, we're not perfect. We all know how to eat properly and exercise, but
yeah,
all of us do it. So we're human, and sometimes we just need reminding.
So what made you go from, like a lot of us, just keep giving advice to people and being that shoulder and that resident expert that we can all ask, and talk to really deciding to do it professionally and going and getting your life coaching certification, and then taking the time to write a book and create a brand and put up a site and really do stuff like professionally?
It just seemed to be that it was what I felt called to do. I was in the corporate world, still in the corporate world, but as I branched out and found this calling, I have to say that it's a calling. It just feels like I am home.
Wow.
And it just feels like this is what I was meant to do my entire life.
And, since we've known each other now almost a year, I find not only our conversations when we're just talking as friends, but our coaching calls, it feels like I'm talking to another coach. So I really feel like I'm getting as much from you as you're getting from me. So I think that you really have a gift, and you're real. So I like that part about you. And I love the book for a first-time author. Folks, when you get this book, you're not going to believe that this is a first-time author. No way. You're going to think he's written 5 books because it's so good. and it just flows so nicely. And for me, it was kind of like almost like an entire education on happiness in one book. So I love it. Hold the book up for us. Show the book. It's called Go Happy Yourself: How Reinventing the Wheel of Your Life Can Make Your Joy Blossom. Talk a little bit about the wheel and tell us like how that whole thing happened.
So, if you want to lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
or you want to get a handle on your finances, what is the first thing you have to do? You have to know your numbers, right? You have to know the first thing when you want to lose weight is you got to own it. You got to step on the scale. You got to know where you're starting from. You got to know what your cholesterol is. You got to know what your blood pressure is. You have to know your numbers. When you want to get your bills under control, you have to know what's in your bank account. You have to know the balances on all your credit cards and all your loans and everything else, right? You have to know your numbers. Well, how are you going to know if you're happy or not if you don't know where to start, right? So, this is not rocket science. When I first was taking my formal training to become a coach, they came up with what it was called was the circle of individual perspective, and it was key areas of life. And when I first was doing it, I'm like, well, this is kind of lame, and I'm never going to do this with my client. But what I found was that it's such a powerful, powerful tool because it makes you look at these 8 key areas of your life and to see how satisfied you are in those areas and give it a rating. So, 1 to 10. So when you look at it at the end, you have your number. If you're a 3 in finances, if you're on a scale of 1 to 10, if your finances are a 3 and your love is a 10, you know where you have to start working. You know what area it is that you need to focus on. It's getting to know the numbers of your happiness. And then we delve into those 8 key areas and some of the things that you can do to increase your happiness in those areas.
Now, how do you think what things happened in your life? Was it something that you just became aware of and then you kind of chased it yourself and wanted to go do that and be that and teach that? Or did something happen that was bad that prompted you to start to look at the numbers in your own life? How did you decide to reinvent the wheel, if you will, which we're going to talk about became a blossom and a flower? How did you decide to go down that road and then create this unique, I'll say, updated version, which was more easily used for people to kind of have fun with this?
Well, I use the circle of individual perspective in my when I was learning to be a coach, and so I have been a firm believer in goal setting.
Okay.
Since I want to say 2003, when I learned from the master Tony Robbins, and a lot of that comes from those key areas are key areas that he covered as well. And so when I saw the circle of individual perspective that I have changed into the wheel of the blossom, I covered those as well, because those are, when I do my goal setting, those are the key areas that I look at. And so, I will do that periodically every year for sure, when I do my goal setting, which is on my birthday. And then at least 2 or 3 times during the year, I'll reassess.
Cool. And I know that you also decided to add a journal element to the end of the book.
I did.
So what did you think that the journal would do to kind of solidify help take action, hold accountable, that type of thing?
Well, a lot of the things that, the tips that we give in the book are tips that require new habits.
Okay.
And the best way to, if you know this from weight loss, is to start a new habit, keep a new habit going, is to journal about it. So if you're starting a weight loss, you journal with your diet. And so this is it's a reminder. So it's a guided journal. It's not empty pages that you have to fill up. It's questions to ask yourself every day based on the things that, we've learned in the book. And that will help you, and you can answer them and you can see your progress during the month. They say it takes 28 days to start a new habit. It's really more like 45. But this is just to, get those good habits that you picked up in the book, keep journaling about them and keep them going, and start some new habits for yourself, some happy habits.
And I know that you also have the journal available on your website. So you have a very robust website, which is very professionally done. The back end is great. It's based on a coaching platform, which is terrific. Yeah, I think it's awesome, and you can offer a lot of the goodies. So if anybody wants to go and grab the book, and then you'll have, I think, 31 days in the book, and then if you want to so journal about this thing, then you want to start another month, you can go online and go to the website and download another copy of it. And, there's a lot of references from the book back to the website. So certainly when folks get the book, there's a lot of goodies that come along with it. So you've done a great job at, giving a lot of other resources included with the book.
Thank you.
So talk to us a little bit about how somebody can find you and then what you can offer them. So starting at I just met Jamie, and then all the way up to, full blown, I want to be mentored by you.
So anybody can find me at my website, which is www.gohappyyourself.com, of course.
Yep.
Or you can email me at jamielee@gohappyyourself.com.
Okay.
And when you go to my website, you can tool around. There's some newsletters that have been out there, some happy news, and been out there for a month or so. And while you're there, you can also schedule a free consultation, introductory, to see if coaching at all, or coaching with me is something that you'd be interested in.
Okay.
We have a couple of programs that are online, and we also will be launching early next year the Happiness Incubator, which will take this book and go much deeper.
Okay.
And, it's a 90-day course, and I guarantee you'll be happier when you're done.
Cool. And I know that the book is now on Amazon, right?
It is, yes. The book
Cool.
is on Amazon.
Print version and the Kindle version?
Correct.
Cool. So that's exciting.
It is very exciting.
Awesome. So I would say, folks, if you're watching or listening to this interview, we all want to be happier. I learned a ton from watching this process with Jamie, and I'm a happy person. So if a happy person can learn a lot, if you're struggling, especially in the 3 key areas she mentioned, do yourself a favor. After you're done, jump on gohappyyourself.com. Go check out Jamie's stuff. Learn more about this amazing young lady, and get her book, and start, happying yourself right now. I love the title too, by the way. So
thank you.
Terrific brand, and it's just been a joy to get to know you and watch this whole thing happen. And you got a lot of gifts, so I'm excited to help you make them shine. So thanks for joining.
Thank you, Rick.
Talk to you soon.
Couldn't have done it without you.
How about that?
Holy shit.